choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
In 1962, President Kennedy challenged his generation to land a man on the moon by the end of the decade, and NASA and America succeeded. They flew more missions to the moon for a few more years, but the public lost interest. And by 1972, Apollo 17 was the last crewed mission to the moon. It all stopped because the public knew in their hearts that the average person would never have a chance to go into space. They knew in their hearts that they would never take part in the adventure. Space was the exclusive purview of governments, and only a few people were lucky enough to go into space. Only 628 people in the world have ever reached the altitude of space, according to the FAA definition of the boundary of space. And only 24 people have traveled beyond low Earth orbit and either circled, orbited, or walked on the moon. Our space technology's advancement slowed until just recently. It wasn't until 2015 that the Commercial Space Launch Competitiveness Act was passed by a Republican-controlled House and Senate and signed by Democratic President Barack Obama.
But rather, let's start thinking about what's the next horizon, what's the next frontier out there. Let's allow the private sector to get in so that they can, for example, send these low Earth orbit vehicles into space, and we may be able to achieve a point in time where those of you who are just dying to go into space, you can buy a ticket.
The law opened the door to Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos' private rocket companies. Today, we have the technology to make space travel a reality for the average person. It's a simple question of investing the dollars. The International Space Station has been circling the Earth for 25 years without a single fatality. Right now, 37 companies are in the FAA application process, vying to build space vehicles. Except for Blue Origin and SpaceX, the Las Vegas Spaceport will be the only privately owned spaceport in the United States, and you can own a piece of it today. Our goal is to open space to everyone on this planet. No longer will space be limited to governments. 10 years from now, taking a trip on a space plane will be as normal as flying from LA to New York one day. The Las Vegas Spaceport will truly democratize space travel for the average person. The market size of the tourism sector in the United States reached $957.42 billion in 2022. According to travel industry experts, the size of the world's tourism market was valued at $11.1 trillion in 2022. Experts predict that number will rise to $16.9 trillion by 2030. The Las Vegas Spaceport will be the gateway to space. Invest in the Las Vegas Spaceport today.